Hello, everybody. This is Sergio with the Rideshare Guy. Today, I'm joined by, Donnie Disco. I'm going to call him his nickname, but we're going to explain why I called him Donnie Disco. Throughout the last year of Show Me the Money Club, I've met digitally, obviously, but also physically, a lot of amazing Uber drivers. So I'm just not going to call it Uber drivers, actually. I'm going to call it gig workers. And if Donnie is not one of those or entrepreneur, I don't know what he is. But I'm going to give him a chance to explain what he does. First of all, he's in Biloxi, Mississippi. We're not going to give up his age, but he can tell us if he wants to. More importantly, though, this is what Donnie's what he does that shocked me. So, we had an interview with a gentleman named Jeff from South Carolina a couple of months ago. He had an acceptance rate of 99%. And, he chooses to run his business the way he sees it, right? But I challenged anybody and everybody to see if in Uberland, if there's a driver with 100% acceptance rate and zero cancellation rate. Well, guess what, people? Here he is, Mr. Donnie Disco himself. Donnie, welcome, buddy.
Hey, how's it going out here? Rideshare guys and the family.
Yeah,
Gotta,
it's
gotta
gone
call it.
great. It's gone great. So let's dive right into it, Donnie. Tell us a little bit about you, how you started driving Uber and Lyft, obviously, how you got into this gig.
Well, it all started when I was 13 years old. I was bagging groceries for a quarter or 10 cents, and I said, "Hey, I got enough of this." So I carried on down the line, and I got I'm a Donnie Disco back in 1979. So y'all gonna be able to tell my age. So I did that for 10 years, and then I got a job with the cable industry. So I've been marketing myself for 10 years with Donnie Disco. So then I got a marketing job with the cable company, door to door. Hey, I'm here to collect for the cable bill. Did that for 20 years. And first things though, I'd like to thank my family, my lovely wife and 4 kids, 11 grandkids. Without them, I wouldn't have got to this point. But really what got me in the rideshare industry was I got a little lazy when I retired a little bit. So I said, hey, wait a minute, I'm taking too much money out of my retirement. So I figured out, hey, what can I get into? So I was just surfing up and down the internet, and I saw this thing called Rideshare. And actually, I logged into your channel and see this, Dustin, see this, that guy there. And then it kind of grew from there. It kind of grew on me. I said, hey, man, you know what? I saw these guys are stacking up $2,000 every week, $2,000 every week, and bragging about it. I said, hey, I'm gonna throw my car in there and see what we can do. So I had a 2020 Dodge Charger, and I actually started with it. It was brand new, had about 4,000 miles on it. Wore it out for about 12 weeks or so I could get to a 1,000 rides. So I figured if I got to 1,000 rides, I'd be on top of the food chain real quick. And you know what? It worked out well. I did those 1,000 rides. I saved up enough money, and I said X is not for me because I got a bunch of crazy rides and crazy people. So I said, hey, I got to change this. So I started into doing XL, and I got more and more rides. I've been on the platform for 4 years, but only been working about 24 months to that 4 years, thoroughly and real hard, because I hit it hard for 6 months, break for 6 months, hit it hard 6 months, break for 6 months, hit it hard. I've been doing that. I've probably got about 9,500 rides and really basic in about 2 years,
Wow.
which I'm hitting it hard at 6 months.
Hold on. So you figured Uber X is not for you, or Lyft
No,
Standard is not for you, right?
no.
So, as any driver should do, if something is not working, you can't keep doing it because that's called insanity, right? Do the same thing over
Oh,
and over, expecting different results. So, what did you do? I mean, I see you're in like a Suburban, right? Because look, I
correct.
did an article on Ronnie. It's going to come out on our blog with all his, numbers and how much he makes, and the car, his pretty face, obviously. But so I see you're in a Suburban. So how did that change come about?
Well, the change come about with it suburban is in this particular market, everybody had to, had to get like 2 rides to get somewhere, and I can hold 7 people, and they were having to pay double the fare, double the fare, double the fare. Now I work in a casino market, which is basically they just passed Atlantic City, so they're the second largest casino market in the United States. They'll never pass Vegas. Now this is money making revenue. They got 12 casinos here, and they're all within rock throwing distance. You just make a big giant circle, go from valet to valet to valet to valet to valet, and it goes ding 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 all night long. When I clock in, I try to do 8 hours, 25 rides, $300. That's my goal. Now, my car, and I've told you this before, I really don't work for Uber. Uber works for me. And the main gist of it is I actually pick up XL. I only set it on XL and just pick up XL. And it could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It doesn't matter what day it is. We're kind of like in a bubble where there's always conventions going on. They're flying 4,000 or 5,000 people down here on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. And Friday and Saturday, Sundays is always a tourism industry. It's 26 miles of man-made beach. And the Mississippi Gulf Coast is like a miniature Vegas.
Right. So a lot of people are going to say, yeah, he's making good money because he's in a bubble. They're going to say, come to Idaho, you're not going to make that money. Well, we say the same thing. Every city is different. But the idea is he figured out, first of all, not to keep driving his current car on the X platform into the ground, right? He figured out how to maximize his earnings, how to be more efficient. He figured that XL in a suburban will work a lot better in his market after a couple of months of driving. So that goes, what kind of intelligence this man has, right? So my congratulations to you, man, because a lot of drivers, get stuck doing X and they complain they're not making money. Now, part of your, income obviously is tips. You're in a casino market. People tip right and left, right? So tell me a little bit about, that stash you got going on there.
Well, these are fives. And when you have you get $25 tip, you get chips, tips, and all. But when you got 7 people in here, and I'm a big talker, I'm an ambassador to my city, which is Biloxi. I can tell you it was, 1699. The Indians were here. There were Biloxi Indians. I can tell you history about Biloxi, the best places to eat, the best places to go. I'm an actual tour guide that gets in here. The minimum fare is like $5.18 from point A to B. 3 minutes, you're in and out. Boom, boom, you're done. Now, that's not. With that being said, now you'll pick them up, have to take them to the airport. Our airport is 30 miles away from the casinos. Those airport trips are always $35, and then they're going to tip you $20. And the surge will be, which I sent you some screenshots. The surge will be $42.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know if it's a glitch between Uber and Lyft and all, but Uber, you basically don't have to be in a surge, and they charge a surge automatically, or it's mile, whatever, here and there. But
but so
I break down the money issue like this.
Yeah.
I start out my week, I fill up my tank, and I fill it up each day. It's about $45 each day in gas. And then basically at the end of the week, I look at my income, what I put out and what have put in the bank, and then what I can pull out of the bank on Monday morning, and it looks good to me on paper.
Yeah, no, but see, this is the problem that a lot of people don't understand. First of all, they don't know their market well. Obviously, your market better than any driver out there, right? You figured out what works for you. Now you do a lot of short trips between casinos, but you also, I know for a fact that you drive in different states as well. Like you'll go to New Orleans, right? Or you'll go to another state taking these long trips. How do you explain that? Like, why would you do that as opposed to just staying in the casino circle, as you call it?
Well, I kind of like the vacation a little bit. So, if there's a trip coming up, and it's called opportunities. Now, I don't know how many rides you got to get to the opportunity point here, but they come across my screen, and they'll come the day before, and they'll say, I got to go to Panama City.
Yeah.
Huh? $385 Uber ride. I got to go to Pensacola, $285 Uber ride. I got to go to Lake Charles, Louisiana, $560 Uber ride. Well, once I get to that point, I take that opportunity, I plan my day around it, and I plan my night around it. It's 4 hours there. Well, golly, what am I going to do? I'm going to drive back 4 hours for nothing? Nah, Uber's going to take me there, which I'm licensed to go there. All right. And then I'll turn the Lyft app on, and the Lyft is going to bring me back. It may take me a little while to get back, but guess what? I'll make my gas money. I go to Pensacola, and I drop somebody in Pensacola, and I'll stay and work on the Pensacola beach. I know that beach area is going to make tons of money, make a couple $100 and work my way back. Now it's going to kill everything coming back. I went from, this is crazy. I went from 77 Beach Boulevard all the way to 777 190, which is Lake Charles, Louisiana, on 4 different trips. You stop here, you stop here, you stop, and it's just taking me out west. And then I cut it off. I come back to the east and I work my way to the east. Now it may take me 10 hours to get home, but when I get home, I got $900 something on my app in one day.
So tell me a little bit about this, because look, when we put up Jeff's video that he accepts 99% of the trips, right. we got more hate mail on that one than anybody, but 40,000 people watched it. You know what I'm saying? So, Jeff may be crazy like a fox, but I think you're crazier than Jeff. But look, I have your screenshot. It's going to be in the article. It has his picture on it. Underneath it, it has 100% acceptance rate, 0% cancellation rate, and he has a 4.99 rating. No, we believe you. You don't have to show it to me. What I'm saying is that to you now, get ready for hate mail, okay? Because people are going to say, oh, he accepts everything. That's why Uber is punishing us. I'm not buying that whatsoever, right? You have a strategy. You have a plan. You're executing your plan. So tell me a little bit about this 100. Are you on auto accept? Like, is that why you accept everything without looking at it?
When I come to work and I come in the market, my app is set on auto accept, and so it basically from that 8-hour period. Now, don't get me wrong. The 8 hours I try to work may take me 10 hours sometime, but normally somebody's in the seat, and then it's giving me ride after ride after ride after ride. I mean, before I get through, there's another ride coming up. So I don't have time to fool with it, rides after ride after ride. And, the people in the back saying, oh my God, he's so busy. He's getting so busy. He's doing a great job, So it's impressive to a customer, which I call them customers or clients. Yeah. I don't call riders, and I try to make them part of my family when they get in the car, because I have all kinds of stuff here, that just tells about my family, and they look around, they see different things, and it inquires their mind. Hey, what's this up here? What's this up here? What's this? And then, like little things from my grandkids. And the conversations I have with people are unbelievable, that I do so much that they don't believe at my age that I still am, like this. And I'm sure everybody's going to be a hater and say, hey, you probably never spend no time. But my office is 60 hours a week in my office. Now, I still have 8 hours with my family, 8 hours of driving, and about 6 or 7 hours of sleeping. So it's not like I'm in this car 100 hours. And I'm sure you and Chris and all y'all have a 60-hour work week, but I have that work ethic that but I have other things going on, of course.
Right. So give me an idea about, so I don't know what the season is for Biloxi. Like, is it high season now, low season now? I don't know where things are at. But I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters to you, because people come to gamble anyway. It does, if it's cold or hot, doesn't make a difference. So tell me about a typical earnings week for you. Like, what are you grossing? Now, the other thing I'm going to say is that, obviously you have a Suburban. It burns gas, but then there's wear and tear. There's wear and tear, right? So how do you do that? How do you obviously you have to maintain your car. There's expenses about that. So do you fix your own car? What do you do? Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, correct. So on the Suburban side is this. I paid cash for it, of course, and got it at a discount, got it at an auction discount. And because I knew I know a lot of people. So I knew a guy and said, hey, go buy me one at the auction and I'll pay you $1,000 more than you paid for it. So I'm in at $11,000, $50,000 new vehicle would be new.
Yeah.
Now, it's a 14, but it's a great 14. The people that had it was an attorney. I researched it. It was a one owner. I did the Carfax, did all that. Had all the brakes changed. I had the front end changed. I did about $3,000 worth of work to it to get it to where I needed it. So I have a private mechanic that I've always used all my life to work on all my cars, because all my kids drive, and we have 4 or 5 cars they have to work on all the time.
Yeah.
So I have a private mechanic. I can take it to his shop. He's got a double garage shop. He's been an ASA, or what do they call it, mechanic, for 20 years. Yeah. So he has all the tools, and every time, I mean, I've actually had a bad spark plug at 9 o'clock at night. I call him and say, listen, man, it's missing. I've got it. And I had a fouled off spark plug. Boom, he fixes it on the spot. I'm right back on the road in an hour.
Right. But Donnie, so a lot of people, what we do is that we try to teach people that you have to watch your cost, right? I mean, you have to know your cost. So obviously, you know what the car cost you. By the way, how many miles have you put on the cars in those 10,000 trips so far?
Now it's at 240,000. Wow. Now, I do put 8,000, 7,000, 8,000 miles, 2 oil changes a month.
Yeah.
He does those, of course, and I'm sure people are going to say, oh my God, he drives 8,000, but I do other things besides rideshare.
Yeah.
I have plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E, plan F.
Well, let's quickly, now that you mentioned it, I know what they are, but let's tell our audience in a couple of minutes. You do other things, obviously. Like you said, your car is your office, right? You do many things. You do side gigs of side gigs, right? So you have a couple other things that you work on. Tell us quickly about what those are.
Well, one of the biggest is A app is Uber, and then B, which is an eBay business that I sell shirts. I have 50,000 shirts on inventory. That's on my eBay site. If you search go Donnie eBay, you'll find me. I've been doing that for 10 years. This is well before rideshare. And then C is my clients and my customers. Okay.
I mean, so, but you're not a typical driver, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And you have so many pans on so many different fires.
Yeah.
And I wish I had quarter of your energy. I don't know where you get it, but you're getting it from somewhere. And it seems like you're getting a lot of it from your family and your family support, right? And God, obviously, and let's talk a little bit about your family and I know your wife had some health issues, but obviously she's back to complete health. And give me like a couple 3 minutes talk a little bit about your family.
Well, I have a wonderful wife I've been married to for 28 years. I wouldn't take nothing in the world for her. She had some heart issues, and she had some cancer issues, which are all healed and done and fixed. And she's living life to the fullest. That's why we take off when we go to the Grand Canyon. We go to Niagara Falls. We go to South Dakota, North Dakota. We have a 31-foot motorhome, but $4,000 worth of gas. Later, we're back, and I do a shirt buying trip while I'm out. We do shirt buying, and I've met some wonderful people that I will never, ever, ever, ever get to meet again, except this came about, by accident. That they caught it early, they took care of it, and then my wonderful kids, they've been behind us 100%, man. Every time that they've had to stay home with her and I have to go work, it's been perfectly fine. But I took off a bunch of time. I took about 8 months off and didn't do anything at all but sit home and take care of her, for sure. I didn't do any business, closed everything down, just shut everything down, and was just basically pulling some money out of my IRA and retirements and stuff like that. And you got to throw as much as much as you can in the bank at an early age. I've learned that over the age, I'm in my 60s. I'm a senior citizen. So, I haven't got my basically old folks check yet, but I'm getting close. Yeah.
But okay, so you've been doing the rideshare for a couple of years. Look, this is not something you can do forever, obviously, right? Because you're sitting, obviously, it's not healthy just to sit 8-10 hours in a car. but it seems like it's working out for you. Are you, let's say, after your gas and expenses, including tips, are you bringing in like netting, like basically like 1,500 a week? Is that what your target is?
Absolutely. That's absolutely the bullseye is 1,500 is my bullseye target. Now the cash tips are, at least a maximum 500, the lowest at 2. And then they tip me crazy on the app. 30 to 40% of my income is tips on the app. And then, casino tips and some other perks like concert tickets and stuff like that. Some other perks. And, some people will say, hey, I got a condo. Would you like to come stay in Destin? I say, sure. No, give me a good rating. Yeah. So there's some other perks that we get too.
So you're bringing in 1,500 net, right? And that's after your expenses, including the tips. Obviously you have a car that's all, close to 250,000 miles, you said, right? So you probably are going to need a car if you're going to continue doing this. And would your advice be, I mean, I'm hoping you're saving some of that money to buy a new car, right?
Well, I already have one in the works. That's just sitting on the side that's not being used.
Right.
So it's an idle. If something was to bad happen to this one, these are usually good for 380, 400,000 miles, believe it or not.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I bought it. I mean, these are just basically highway running around miles. I change the oil, change the brakes. I mean, I change everything that needs to be changed when it needs to be changed. But I'm at the, the concept of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's sure. Yeah. But, like you're saying, it will need to be traded in. It's paid for.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. And you could probably get 5,000 on a trade-in even the Suburban's so old. Yeah. Because people are still in hunting for these vehicles. It was a certain year that they made them really good, and it's a really, really, really clean car. Really clean. That's why I get so many fires.
To tell me now a little bit about how long you're going to keep doing this. Obviously, you can say as long as I can, but that's not the idea because you have so many different plans going on anyway. You have your t-shirt business, which anybody can find on eBay. You do some DJing. I know that. That's why we called you Donnie Disco, by the way.
Right.
And talk a little bit about those two things, how much longer you're going to do that. And then I'm going to close out by asking you a couple of different questions.
Well, you always got to look 5 years down the road. So I'm 60. So I still got another good 30 years to live. My health is great. I just had a physical at the first year, which I have them. I give them 5 things of blood. They send it back to me. Everything's perfect. I'm a little overweight.
Yeah.
Everything's perfect. My blood pressure's fine. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't do drugs. So I'm in that top tier where that's great. And the other thing about it is you got to keep your mind strong. So I do a lot of talking. I do a lot of reading. I don't watch any TV. I do definitely watch a lot of YouTube. But I try to, educate myself about what's going on in the world today to keep ahead of the track. But the big announcement I had was Plan F, which I'm the co-founder of Fair Eats and Fair Rideshare for Biloxi, Mississippi.
Wow.
And I have contracts, everything's signed, everything's sent off. These guys are out of Canada.
Yeah. Well, I know there's a gentleman in LA that we know. He's the ambassador for the West Coast, I think. I'm sure you know the rideshare professor, but here's the thing, right? So I'm going to ask you a question like a skeptic, okay? If I'm a skeptic and I say, Donnie, you could make so much more money by cherry picking. Why do you have auto accept on and accept 100% of the trips? How would you respond to that?
Because basically there's not enough rides per capita driver in this market because Uber sends out every week. They only want to pay you $22 an hour, which I have a screenshot of it. I'll send it to you. It says work, all the hours will guarantee you $22 an hour. It used to be 25, but this market is getting to the saturated point to where the algorithms are picking only to let you make $22 an hour or only to make $25 an hour. So I'm taking those trips. Now, my trips are also paired trips. If I take somebody from here to Bay St. Louis, which is a $45 ride, they got to get back to the casino.
Yeah.
So I sit around and drive there, and I app pair. App pair meaning they got my card. It's got Cash App and Venmo on the back, and these are not out of the Uber or Lyft range because of the insurance purposes. I've got 3 insurance policies, and one of them covers my income, one of them covers liability, and the other one covers my vehicle. Liability be me and the people that's in my car. So I never work outside the app because they're paying me enough already. They're paying me $1.38 a mile.
Yeah.
So those people got to get back. So I work while they're eating for a couple hours. They say, well, it'll be a couple hours. So in 2 hours, I turn my app off, and guess what? They'll call. I'm the only guy on the planet.
Yeah.
Certain areas, I'm the only guy on the planet that's got an XL in that area. So they'll call me, and that 35 ride just turned into another $35, and then I come right back to the casino, and we start it all over again. We stir the pot, and we're doing ride after ride after ride, and then I get another one that's over to Pascagoula, which I did a story, on my little YouTube channel, all YouTube channel, and did a story on it, and it's a $50 ride. So the guy can't get back. It's 12 o'clock midnight.
Yeah,
he's not gonna find a ride back.
Yeah,
so he pops on the XL, and I bring him back this way. But he calls me on the phone.
Well, I think you know what? I think you answered me as a skeptic and answered probably everybody who's a hater out there, right? But
right, well, I call it app pairing.
No, I meant, listen to me. I'm telling you, I had doubts about what you were doing, right? Because we think about these things, but now that you explained yourself, look, you have a business, you're running it the way you see it fit. It's nobody else's business to tell you what to do, right? So to me, I'm like, hey man, this guy is successful. He's bringing in 1,500 net a week, bunch of cash tips. Like, what is there to complain about? The guy is enjoying what he's doing. He's loving what he's doing. He's a personable driver. He likes talking. He likes meeting people. What better job than this, right? So we have a couple of minutes in closing. You can talk about anything you want to talk about and give advice to other drivers or whatever it is you want to do. So the floor is yours. You have 2 minutes.
Well, the one thing I would like to tell everybody is if they would please stop the hate and complaining as much as they do, and more driving and more just focus on how do I make this work. Get a top-notch driver in your area and make friends with him. Make friends with that person. If you see a guy picking up somebody at a certain place all the time, follow that joker around, find out where he's sitting. That's how I started out. I followed this lady. She has Uber karaoke, and she said her tag says Uber One, and she has over 40,000 rides.
Wow.
And she's been doing it since day one. Uber got kicked out of the market, and then they came back because they had to align themselves to $1.38 a mile, which is a lot. I think most people would work for $1.38 a mile, because I see that all the other markets are so saturated, and they said, I'm not going to take this one, I'm not going to take this one, but I'll take this one. So in closing with that is, I wish people would get off the negative part and try to get in the positive of the company will work for you if you let the company work for you, but don't work for Uber, work for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? This is like, I don't know, I lost count, but I've done so many interviews with amazing drivers like you. I always tell, Uber and Lyft, as platforms, you guys are lucky to have people like Donnie on your platform, right? Because they serve your customer base really well, and they know what they're doing. And to me, we're called this, this is part of our Behind the Wheel series. And here he is behind the wheel, Mr. Donnie Disco from Biloxi, Mississippi. Donnie, you're my man. I've only met you maybe a couple of months ago, but I said, I'll be damned if I don't do a story on Donnie, because I was fascinated. And now that I know your story, man, all congratulations to you. My hat's off to you. You got to keep doing what you're doing. Take care of yourself, take care of your family. And one day, if I show up at Biloxi, you promised me you're going to buy me some crab legs.
Yep. And hey, nothing stops the train.
There you go, sir.
This is my grandfather's conductor hat, and I wear it in pride. that nothing stops the train for
Yeah,
sure.
you're an ambassador to Biloxi. You're an ambassador to your family, to your city. And I couldn't be happier to have met you. And obviously, now that I've met you, we'll have to keep in touch, right? So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
maybe down the road we'll do another follow-up on this, how things are going, but please keep in touch. And it was my honor and pleasure to meet you. And God bless you.
I'm getting on a plane coming to California to meet all y'all eventually.
There you go. There
For
you go.
sure.
All
And
right.
the
You have a great day now.
invitation's always open. Anytime
Hey,
you want to, I got you.
thank you, sir. You have a great day and be safe out there. All right.
And God bless everybody in the rideshare world, and those ones that have perished in the past or something happened to them in the past. We want to really, really show our respect for the people that are in this industry. It could be the rider, the driver, whatever. That's got to change, and it will change soon. And get better. It's got to get better before it gets worse.
Yeah, I agree. So you have a great day. Be safe out there. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, man.